The leader of the Operation Dudula movement is expected to appear in the Roodepoort Magistrates Court tomorrow after spending the weekend behind bars. Nhlanhla Dlamini was arrested on Thursday, as you know, after a criminal case was opened against him. Dudula movement members have protested outside the police station calling for the release of their leader. It's where we find my colleague Nhlanhla Dlamini. She's live for us there. Mbali, very good afternoon to you. What are you witnessing there now?
Blaine, what we witnessed just a moment ago was a large group of people that was out here that has come to pledge their support to Operation Dudula leader Nhlanhla Dlamini. Now, what they tend to do is to go around the precinct in circles, and what you might have missed are those visuals. I don't know if you saw them or if you had them on air, but it was those visuals of them arriving, as they said, yesterday during that announcement, after they heard that the leader would be remanded in custody, they did vow to intensify the protest and get more of their branches to come outside this police station. If you look around me, there's a high police presence even right behind me, just standing in front of the police station's entrance. There are a number of police officials there looking around the precinct. You'll see that there are a number of JMPD members and vehicles all around. You also see public order policing vehicles also around. But one of the organizations that is here to support and pledge their support to Operation Dudula is someone from the e-hailing services. And you understand that they recently held a strike, but they're saying that the reason they've come to pledge their support here is because their objectives somewhat align. We'll just get a sense from him. He joins me now. Thank you so much for speaking to us. Now, you have decided as the e-hailing service to come and pledge your support and to Nhlanhla and Operation Dudula. Tell us about what your reasons are for coming here.
Look, essentially, firstly, Nhlanhla is a personal friend. And I think as an active South African citizen, we must support him. We need more active citizenship in this country to address our problems. But more importantly, I think his cause is that to stand for South Africa so we can emerge as a better country, right? And we don't have enough people doing that. The politicians who are supposed to be doing that and putting law and order and frameworks in place to ensure that the mayhem in South Africa comes to an end are not doing so. Instead, they are victimizing a young man for expressing and taking a stand. And this is a value we're taught to have growing up, to take a stand, you know. And Operation Dudula, in essence, is a stand for South African communities to rid it of drugs. And drugs are a major problem in our society, you know. And we believe there's alignment because essentially we're experiencing the same within e-hailing. And we want South Africa to take a stand to rid exploitation from that sector, and in that spirit we come and stand with Nhlanhla and Operation Dudula today.
Okay. Now talk to us about those who say that Operation Dudula does not operate within the confines of the law, and they're saying that what they're doing is actually vigilantism, and that they're harassing people when they do carry out these operations. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think the question is, our law enforcement agencies actually enforcing law, When you get to the point whereby citizens are saying, look, enough is enough, we know of an ongoing drug dealer, and we want to confront that situation, that's because law enforcement in itself has overlooked it time and time again, right? So up until we're in a situation whereby we've got proactive law enforcement that will ensure that we begin to rid our communities of the ill elements we no longer need within our communities, then we should not be surprised when we have more and more citizenship taking a stand and saying, let's sort out our country on our own.
And now talk to us about, how you then align with Operation Dudula. You say as the e-hailing services, you align in one way or another. Talk to us about what you have in common with this organization.
I think essentially our alignment purely speaks to being pursuant of a better South Africa. We want rules and regulations. We want law and order. E-hailing, we're exploited by global app companies and our government who we are being exploited, who we are protesting at. We spend 3 days on protest, disrupting the economy, which affects everybody, is not proactive in bringing about solutions. So our alignment is simply to say, look, if we're not going to rely on government and those who we voted to power, let us put instruments into place to address these challenges independently.
And then what do you have to say about, criminal elements that seem to mushroom out of protests, whether legitimate or not? What are your thoughts on that? Because there were some criminal elements that emerged from that 3-day strike that you mentioned.
Look, on our end, on the e-hailing side, the criminal elements, I can confirm myself, we identified some individuals and handed them over to law enforcement in our personal capacity. We are against it. We want to rid our nation of criminal elements. But when there's public protest, also appreciate the expression of frustration of a nation. This is an expression of a nation, really, and we can't overlook it. We need a government that will then react to public sentiment. And the sentiment expressed here is, let's do better, let's fix our communities. We've got young kids dying of drugs every day. They can't function at school. They're passed out next to some electric box. And we know who the drug dealers are. If we report them to the police will then inform the drug dealers who are the people that have reported them, and we as the community then get victimized. But now we take a stand as a community, and the law enforcement is quick to say this is vigilantism, right? So where do we find the balance, right? If law enforcement isn't going to show up, don't tell communities not to show up for themselves.
Thank you so much. There you have it. That is one of the members from the e-hailing services who has come out here to pledge their support to Operation Dudula leader who is being kept behind bars at this prison here. They're also just saying that, they are calling on law enforcement agencies to do their part and to show up for community members when incidents of drug abuse or drug peddling are reported by community members. It's back to you in studio.
Right, Nhlanhla Dlamini, live for us in Johannesburg. We thank you very much indeed for your reporting.